Hello, everybody. Welcome, Move, Think, Smile followers, everybody in the Elite Performance Group. And we have got a very special treat for you today. With me, we have the amazing Jessica Haviland. And her story is one of those kind of hero's journeys, one of those that I just really, it inspires me. It's made me super stoked to be able to work with her and just see this amazing progress that she's done. Because she's done some things that most people don't think they can actually do. And I'm so excited to show some pictures and some stuff like that, but I do not want to be the spoiler alert in this one. And I'm just going to kind of let Jessica tell her story and how she made this really incredible transformation from this place of like just not feeling good enough, not feeling enough, to this just ultimate, just badass. It just really increased her energy and increasing her impact with her kids as a super mom at home and doing these really cool things. So Jessica, welcome to
Thank you.
yeah. So tell us just a little bit, what do you do for a living?
I'm an executive finance director for a
Exactly.
healthcare system.
Okay. And, but that's still with a major corporation,
It is, yes.
right?
Yes, we have 25 billion in revenue.
Okay. So your job is no joke.
No joke, yes. No joke. It's pretty intense, especially healthcare environment is very tough. So we're constantly trying to find ways to lower costs, but still be able to help our patients. So
Exactly. So tell us what was kind of going on back in the fall when you saw one of our workshops, you clicked and you ended up calling in, like what was going on there?
yeah, so it really started with my kids. I have two difficult kids that I love dearly, but they've had a lot of mental issues since they were born, and they're 10 and 6 now. And especially my little one, he had severe behavior issues, was getting kicked out of preschool. And it just over the 10 years of taking care of my kids and working, I had found myself in a place that I just was not functioning. I was on autopilot. I was struggling at work to focus. I was struggling with my kids, struggling with my husband. Just everything felt very, very difficult. I'd get up and be like, I can't wait to go back to bed. And every decision and every step just felt like a huge weight was on me that if I made the wrong decision, the whole thing would fall apart. If I made the right decision, nothing would happen. I just felt really on edge most of the time. And one of the reasons that prompted me to search for, because I had been in therapy before and I didn't really get a whole lot out of that. So one of the things is there was a day that I was really trying to help my kids with their emotions and their moods. And what I realized is that my emotions and my mood were not in check. And I'm trying to teach my kids how to get their emotions and mood in check. I'm like, this just is not working. I need to do something different. I need to do something drastic. And so that's what led me to Move, Think, Smile.
And so tell me a little bit more about, like what was going on in there? Like obviously it sounded like, was it a motivation thing? Was it a fatigue thing, an energy thing? Was it kind of a little bit of a cocktail there?
It was kind of a cocktail of both. All I knew is I couldn't continue. If I had continued on the way I was going, I didn't know how long I would last. Either my health wise, I was overweight, I had severe inflammation. I was starting to down the path of prescriptions that I didn't want to do. And so I felt like if I was going to turn my family around, I had to turn myself around first. And so that's kind of where I started. I was like, I need to get healthier. I need to get, more energy in order to be able to take care of my family and still have my job.
Right. And so you talked about therapy and you did that for how long?
I did that for a couple years.
And what were the pros and cons of that for you?
I think therapy has its place. I definitely identified some of the underlying things I was carrying around with me. But at the end of the day, I just got done talking about it and I really wanted to move past it. And I really wanted action steps to say, okay, yes, I know this happened, but what can I do to move beyond it besides just talking? I really wanted more action around it. And so I had been out of therapy for a while before I got into Move Think Smile, but when I got to the place like I need help, I didn't think therapy was the answer. So that's kind of why I went into, well, maybe I should try personal coaching, and then that's when I found you guys.
Right, right. And so, and what are the things that you tried to fix? I remember that when we first chatted, that you were on a diet. You were trying, working with your food.
Yes, I one of my biggest things is like I felt like if I could get my food in check and really lose weight, that would be kind of the bullet to like fixing everything. And so I had tried several. I'm one of those that have been on probably every single diet there are, from keto to whatever. And so I had tried a bunch of diets. I had tried supplements, from vitamins to homeopathic doctors to regular doctors. I'd had blood tests galore. Everything was coming out fine. And so that's where I was getting really frustrated. It's like, okay, I'm super tired. There's apparently nothing wrong with me, but I'm really struggling to make it through the day. And so that's where it's like, okay, I can't, it's almost like I have to take my health into my own hands. Like doctors weren't helping me. So it's like, okay, I'm going to have to do this on my own, basically. And that's why I'm so glad I had you guys Move Think Smile, because I didn't feel like I was alone while I was transforming, which was really helpful in my success.
I mean, you were telling me earlier that, your resting heart rate at the time was in the 90s.
Yeah, yeah. So I had my Fitbit, and yeah, I mean, I wasn't walking probably 5,000 steps a day, and my resting heart rate was usually in the 90s.
Yeah, that's pretty up there. And then what are
Yeah.
some other things? Like how would you say your quality of sleep was back then?
Um, so I actually slept really well, and I was actually somebody who would sleep 10 to 12 hours and
Hmm.
still wake up feeling groggy.
Hmm.
So I never had a problem sleeping. I almost felt like I was sleeping too much and still not feeling re-energized every morning, and that was really frustrating too.
Yeah, there's nothing like getting like 8 to 9 hours of sleep and you wake up not feeling refreshed.
Yeah, yeah. And then the next day I'd be like, okay, well, maybe I just need 10 hours of sleep. So I would sleep 10 hours, and I was napping on the weekends. I mean, I just felt like I was sleeping my life away. And I was like, I can't keep up. My kids are in sports. We're active on the weekends. Like I just can't keep up with everything.
And where do you feel like this was really affecting you the most?
I really felt for me, it was really my home life where it was impacting the most. I like all of our energies were just feeding off of each other, and none of that energy was really good. And so, and my kids were taking up our entire world. And I really felt like if we continued, I was going to end up probably divorced, and probably just overweight and burnt out by the time I was 50, and my kids left with a life that was non-existent from that point. And not only that, but I'm not helping my kids be the best people they can be when they're off and on their own. So for me, it really, I mean, my career was going, I think I had just gotten a promotion to executive director right before I got to Move Think Smile. So my career was going, but I just felt like my home life was falling apart. And it always felt like one or the other. Like I'd have periods where my career was falling apart, but my home life was great. And then I felt like my home life would be really bad, and then my career was succeeding. And at that point, it's like, God, do I have to choose? Like, can I not have both? I have to choose a career, or I have to choose my family. But there was no way I could do both.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was very much focused through this whole journey on my family.
Yeah, and I do remember, you were a little bit worried about, it's like, how do I have the family in the career? Am I going to have to lose all the success that I put into my career because I've worked so
Hmm.
hard to get here?
Right. Yeah, that was a huge issue. I mean, when my son was kicked out of preschool, I had to find daycare, and a lot of that's very stressful. And I was like, there was a point that I'm like, maybe I should just quit and watch him and take care of him. But that's not who I am. I can't, and I love stay-at-home moms, so I don't want to go down that path. I am not one of them. I would get bored out of my mind. And I was like, that's not me being the best person I can be for my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really wanted to figure out a way to do both, because I felt like it was important for me to have my own identity outside of my kids, and for my kids to see that you can have a strong working mom and be able to do all of that for when they're looking for their wives in the future. So it was just really important. And financially, we're dual income. So if I had quit, we would have had to sell our home. We would have had made some significant financial cuts in our life, and we didn't want to do that. So I was at a cross point, like, okay, I've decided to try and do both. How do I do it? And I really had no idea how to do both when I came to Move Think Smile. No clue. I was bottom of the bottom.
And so, I mean, so the costs, so just kind of sum up, the costs were basically family or job is what was going through your head.
Mm-hmm.
Your health was taking a beating.
Mm-hmm.
And I know pretty sure that your own, like, Jessica time, your freedom, your free time, there was very little of that, if any at all.
Non-existent.
Yeah, non-existent. And so it's like, okay, how do I get through this? And then, the kids in the family, you were dealing with some pretty, I would say, major stuff, some anxiety in there, and there was some depression in there and some other things. And it's just, the things, and you were kind of like, you were almost like, would you call it like you were almost like the emotional janitor? Like you would just have to come home and clean up the mess of emotions every day?
Yes, yeah, for sure. I mean, it was, you walked in and never knew who was going to be high, who was going to be low. Like it was just, we were constantly walking on eggshells of what is going to blow somebody up today. And it was awful. It was awful.
And okay, so you've got all this stuff going on. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
you're trying these things. You're trying all the diets. You're trying to supplement. You're trying things to kind of like spark your energy. You went to the counseling. You talked about your story over and over again. Didn't feel like you had any action steps. Then you kind of come across one of our posts one day, and what was the turning point for you?
Um, for me, so I don't know why I was up early that morning and I was on Facebook and I saw a feed for actually another personal coach. And then I saw your guys's and I signed up for both. And you guys called me first. And after talking with you, after talking with you, just being able to put the burnout on what I was feeling actually really helped, because I felt very overwhelmed by everything. And after talking with you, it's like, yeah, I'm burnt out. Like it just made it really simple. Like, okay, instead of trying to fix the anxiety and the depression and then the weight and then all these other things that were going on, it was like, okay, I just need to fix the burnout. Like it just really simplified my thinking. And really, after our first talk, you gave me some really quick wins to do that would really spark my energy, like within hours of our call. And so that's really, for me, it just got really, and you hear like, you should eat this and you should eat this. And just the way you were able to simplify it really helped. And when you're in that burnout and you have no energy, all that other stuff is just taking up a lot of energy. And so I really needed somebody to come in and help me simplify everything and have me just focus on one or two things at a time to really start shifting things.
Now, do you think a lot of people, they look at Move, Think, Smile and they think, oh, they're just a bunch of coaching people. And, we consider ourselves to be a little bit more than just, a personal coach, because we really get in there. I've got a background in, integrative health and integrative nutrition. And then, Elia, my partner, co-founder, she's got the background in motivation, confidence, mindset, success, and all that performance and career related stuff. I mean, what did you find that mix worked well for you?
Yes, for sure. I mean, I initially went in more on Elia's side.
Yep.
Like a lot of it was like, I need a different mindset. I'm bogged down. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough for my kids. I'm not good enough at my job. I'm not good enough to make all
Mhm.
this work. I was just really in a really I was in a horrible mindset place. And so I really came in really focused on Elia's side of the world. But when we first started, having some of your quick wins on the physical side really helped me kind of get to where I needed to be in order to get, because Elia's stuff is really deep. If you're in that burnout place, you really got to get it in a good place in order to really get into it and really dive into it. And so the pair of it, you had you call them the primary foods. You have that with the mindset, and you don't get that with personal coaching. You get
Right.
usually one or the other. You don't usually get them both. And I don't think having one or the other would work. You really need to have them both at the same time working together.
So Jessica, tell everybody, define, we talk about primary foods and secondary foods. That's one of our core concepts.
Mhm.
Explain to people what that means to you.
Um, well, again, when I first started, I was just very focused on weight, which is all the secondary, like the actual food you're putting into your mouth. And for years, I was so frustrated because I wasn't losing any weight. And even though I would be eating healthy, I'm not losing weight. And so when I was introduced to the primary foods, that kind of became like an aha, like, oh my gosh, it's much more than just the food I'm putting in my mouth.
Hmm.
There's all these other components that I need to also be looking at. And if I'm just focused on the food and this other primary foods are not where they should be, then I'm not going to see success. And so it kind of allowed me to start connecting the dots, I guess, instead of just focused on food, focused on weight. It allowed me to expand that, be like, okay, I need to be focused on some of these other things as well, and for a more holistic view of what I need to get out of this burnout.
And I think it was really awesome. It was, some people that we work with have, really fast progress in a couple of weeks. Some people, it takes a little bit longer, and everybody's a little bit different. You're
Mm-hmm.
more of a processor. And I think it was really interesting that seeing after a couple of months, you're like, I know who I am or who I
Mm-hmm.
have been. And I know who I don't want to be anymore. And who was that?
Um, I don't want to be not good enough Jessica anymore.
Right. Yeah. So we
Yeah.
finally identified what was going on
Yeah.
in there and started really tackling it. And then, we did a 180, did some really cool things.
Yeah.
And Jessica created and you know, we like to use the term badass a lot, but she adopted this herself. And this new identity that you're transforming into is who?
Badass Jessica.
Right, it is. And now we're going to talk about, we're going to move off from all the doom and gloom guys and move into some really cool things that are happening with Jessica. And I want to just share a picture with everybody. Back in November, we had a Move Think Smile client weekend where all of our active members are able to come in. It's just included with part of Move Think Smile. And we invited them to do a Spartan race with us up in North Carolina. And Jessica flew in from, the West Coast all the way over to hang out with us for the weekend. And she actually did this crazy thing, this obstacle, this mud run. And I'm going to share this first picture just to show that she was actually there and she actually got over some of these obstacles. And that's Jessica right there. And that's another client of ours, that's Van, helping her over one of the Spartan walls. And
Mm-hmm.
so Jessica, give us a little bit about, what was going through your head during that, what prompted you to do that, what you took away from, and how amazing, the stuff that you've learned from Move Think Smile is.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, I know it's crazy that I flew all the way from the West Coast to the East Coast to do this run. I mean, honestly, I was all in. I had invested the money, I had invested the time. I was seeing huge progress up to that point. So I was all in. And so when the weekend came up, I'm like, why the hell not? Like, let's just do it. It was completely outside my comfort zone. I was not training. I was not physically ready for something like this. But I just went in like, I'm just gonna finish it. I'm gonna get outside my comfort zone. I'm gonna just do this with this team that I've been talking with every week, and I'm just gonna finish it and see what I can get from it. So it was scary for sure. I think you and I joke. I think you were talking to me like right before it started. I had completely just shut down. I don't even remember the first part of the race because I was just shut down. Like, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? But going through it, I did not enjoy it as I was going through it. It was very difficult. But I finished it, and that was a huge accomplishment. And after I am a processor, so after a couple weeks of processing what I just did after I got home, it really did. It opened my eyes to a lot of things. Like I usually don't ask for help, and on that race, I had to ask for help. I could not have finished it on my own, and you guys were amazing support system there, and really probably physically actually helped me through it up that mud mountain. And then too, like I really can do more than I think I can. Like I've limited myself on a lot, and doing that really realized that, okay, I can do more than I think I can. And what can I do now that I'm back home to really keep that momentum going? So afterwards, I was so bad at the race. Oh my gosh, I was so bad. And I just kept saying, I don't want to leave this world not doing a better job at the Spartan race. So I found a trainer, and I'm training for my second Spartan race that I want to finish on my own, get through the obstacles, and really do kind of a 180 and really show what I can do.
And so I'm showing this picture right now of us with the medals on at the end, and that's Jessica, the second from the left. That's me on the left, and then we got two of our clients there, and the co-founder L.A. Fosteron right there in the middle. And that smile on Jessica's face that she had conquered and gotten through 4.5 miles and probably one of the muddiest, nastiest, slickest, toughest courses that I had ever been to. It had been raining for like, I don't know, 18 days before then, like 30 foot of water. It was just crazy. But she got it. She did it. And what it is interesting is she was very nervous during the thing. There were parts during the race where she was not enjoying it. That's for sure. But she stuck with it. And it was more than just showing up. It was, what were your big takeaways? What did you learn about yourself? What was it about the Move, Think, Smile that got you to get there, that got you through it, and that got you home? And then you started unraveling this old identity and started creating this new badass Jessica.
For me, it just, the idea, I mean, it was really outside my comfort zone. So one of the things I took was like, I need more of that. I was kind of stuck in a rut, and I need something to kind of keep me guessing. Like just trying to figure out ways to get out of my comfort zone to really be able to grow. And two, I think the biggest aha coming from the Spartan race, and even in Move, Think, Smile in general, is that I don't ask for help. And in order for me to be successful, I'm going to need help from all kinds of people, not just my family, but friends and coworkers. And that's been really hard, and something I've learned because I've had to ask you guys for help. Like I'm struggling. I need help. And then even asking Van and Dan for help at the Spartan race. Like I had never met these two guys, and now all of a sudden I'm having to ask them for help, and that was really difficult. But in the end, they were great, and so I was like, if you ask for help and somebody wants to help you, why not let them? And if they don't want to help you, then just find somebody else who will. It's not that big of a deal. And so to me, that was really kind of asking for help, and then also the idea that I can do more than I think I can, and how can I play that out in other areas of my life, not just on an obstacle course.
So you were literally living in kind of like your own personal hell there as not good enough Jessica. And how long was that going on for? It was a long time, wasn't it?
Years.
Yeah.
Years.
And then in just a couple of months, we started making that transformation into badass Jessica. So you talked about how your heart rate was in the 90s, but now it's in the low 70s.
Low 70s, yes.
Which is an amazing, amazing feat. That is one of the awesome measurements of just feeling good. And how's your energy during the day when you're waking up and things?
Yeah, my energy is a lot better. I'm stronger than I've ever been. I'm lifting 70-pound kettlebells, and I remember asking you on the Spartan race, like how heavy were those buckets? Because I was like, I think I could do that now. So yeah, my energy level is better, my strength is better, my mood is better. I'm making better decisions because I have more energy and my mood is better. And we've really have made significant changes within the family. So not only am I benefiting from it, but my family is also benefiting from it. So we've made significant changes in just the few months that I've been doing Move Think Smile.
So what would you say would it be the biggest thing that you've noticed, this new badass Jessica that you stepped into?
My outlook on life is a lot better. I know I still have a journey. I'm not where I want to be, so it's not the end for me, but my outlook is 100% better than it was when I came in. And, I'm no longer thinking, gosh, I have to choose between my career or my home. I know I can do both. And rewarding to it's rewarding too to see the impact on my family. So I went in like I'm going to change myself, but I'm seeing huge impacts in my family as well. And so as my mood is getting better and my energy is getting better, I'm seeing that in my kids. They're not as anxious, they're not as depressed. And so I'm starting to feel the shift in the energy in our home just be have more better days than not good days like it was before. So we still have our challenges, but we're slowly shifting how we respond to those challenges, and life is looking up. I'm really excited to see the next 5 years where it goes.
I mean, you say slowly change, but if you look at the grand scheme of things, you're talking about dealing with that 5 to 10 years in just a few months. You've made a lot of shifts.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Totally. We have made a ton of shifts. So you're right. It's not slowly. We do have a little bit ways to go, but it has been a huge change even in just the short few months.
And I love that. And so, what would you say? You come into Move Think Smile. We've got a big community in there, and as you got to experience, Dave and Van, who are also clients of Move Think Smile, helping you get through, the not only their kind of first Spartan race and obstacle race, which, by the way, guys, doing a Spartan race is not a requirement of Move Think Smile. We had a client weekend. We met on Friday and Saturday, and on Sunday, it just so happened there was a Spartan race there. We invited people to come do it with us, and it's never, and we didn't treat it like a race, did we, Jessica?
No, no, what? I think it took us 4 hours,
It took us
five
a little
hours.
while to get through it, but it's not
Yeah,
about
it
the
was a
time.
great. Yeah.
No, it's about what you can learn about yourself. And when you're confronted with an 8 foot muddy wall in front of you, but you got four people by your side, they're like, we got this. You're like, there's no way. It's like, no, we got this. Just this is time to open up the trust can, and let's put not good enough Jessica over here, and let's unleash badass Jessica and make this happen.
Mhm.
So what would you say that was the most inspiring, or the most powerful thing that you found inside when you were inside Move Think Smile?
Um, Most powerful. There's a lot of components to Move Think Smile, which I really liked. There is a whole support system there that you're really getting into other people's stories and hearing what they're going through, which really is inspiring to you as well. But as you mentioned, I'm a process person. So even like you're on the badass island, going through those were really impactful to me. Just being able to have time and sit down, and the questions that were prompted like really made me think through a lot of things. So um, the reason that Move, Think, Smile worked for me is because there were all different types of components. You had the support team, you had the one-on-one, but then you also had that time to process on your own with some of the questions and stuff, and then the feedback you got from you guys. So to me, it was all depending on what I needed at that time. Sometimes it's like I really needed the support group, and then other times I was like, I really need to get into Badass Island and think through this in more clarity, like the mission clarity statement and stuff. So to me, it was multifaceted, which is what really worked, because it wasn't just one path that I find a lot of other things are.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the things that we really focus on, guys. And I think Jessica can attest to us. And that is, it's Move Think Smile is not a one size fits all program, because
Mhm.
everybody has what we call a bio individual status. And what that basically means is what could be fuel for me could be poison for Jessica. And so, Jessica, would you say Move Think Smile is a magic pill?
No,
No. Okay. Yeah,
no, I
good.
would not. You still have to put in the work.
Yeah. No,
And you still have to be motivated to make the change. And I think you guys do a really good job of finding people who are really motivated, which is what keeps that support team so super important, is that you have people in there who are motivated to change, and it just keeps inspiring other people.
right. And it's like a lot of people are like, well, it seems so simple. It's like, well, the process is simple, but it takes
Mhm.
a hell of a lot of work. And we do our best to try and make it. And Jessica can attest to this, to try and make it so we're available to you in some form or fashion, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Right. So
Mhm.
there's some type of support network there. And then when you're having, like, I remember you had a couple of moments, right? And I remember you texted me up, it's like, oh my gosh, I just watched this. I don't know what I'm going to do. Is the sky falling?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And that was really early on in Move Think Smile, because I did think the sky was falling. Like everything felt like every news I got was bad. And I now that I was just in that place, so I'm only seeing all the bad stuff. So yeah, I mean, it was really nice to be able to just text you or Elliot and be like, I'm really struggling right now. I need some help. And you guys were right there within minutes to accommodate. So for sure.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Well, we're really honored to have you and Move Think Smile. And, we're not done yet. That's for sure. And, you know, what would you've made this amazing transformation. Yes. There's always a journey, it's life. Like the obstacles always come your way, but when those obstacles are now appearing in front of your path, do you feel like your obstacles like they used to be? Are they roadblocks? Are you able to really like, what to do now with them?
Yeah, I feel like the obstacles, to your point, are just part of life.
Hmm.
And so I no longer feel like, I don't want to say I played the victim, but I kind of did. Like, oh, why is this obstacle happening to me? And I don't know how to deal with this obstacle. And now it's like an obstacle comes in my way, and it's like, okay, let me be resourceful. Let me be badass, Jessica. Let me figure out a way around this. And there are some obstacles more challenging than others, but at the end of the day, I now believe I can get through it no matter what it is. And it's not going to drain me completely for the entire day to go around that obstacle, or drain me for the next couple of years, like with my kids. So those obstacles, are going to happen. And I feel like coming out of Move, Think, Smile, I have a whole toolbox of things I can use to get around them, depending on what it is. Anything from things that are really small to things that are really big.
Yeah. So when that 50-foot wall comes out of nowhere and it looks like you're to slam face first into it, you can now slow down and go, do I even need to go over this thing?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so, Jessica, going from, not good enough Jessica to just badass Jessica, you've got these tools in your back pocket, your arsenal, and then looking back, if your future self right now could go back to Jessica last summer, right? And all these people that are out there that are dealing with the same type of fatigue, the same type of low energy. Some of them call it burnout, some of them don't. This lack of confidence. Not feeling like they're enough, not feeling like they're good enough, feeling like, how come everybody else is having all the success and I have to choose between my family and my work. Like,
Hmm.
knowing what you know now and this transformation you made, what would you share with those out there feeling kind of the same way?
Um, I would share that you don't have to choose, and to really, to one, reach out for help. We all need help at points in our time. And so I would say reach out to help for help. And you don't have to choose. You can really find a way to navigate between the two. And it's going to be hard work. It's not easy, but in the end, it's really so worth it. And, as I came into this like, um, as a typical mom, I do everything for my kids. And so I started this journey doing everything for my kids. But it really is kind of that, as they say, you got to take care of yourself in order to take care of your kids. And I really learned that, and this process helped me learn that. And by taking care of myself, my kids are far happier than they've ever been, even last summer. And so I think it's just really important that people really grasp the fact that if you have no energy, you can't give energy to other people. And if there's other people you need to take care of, you're really going to have to figure out a way to take care of yourself, give yourself the time, invest money into yourself, and really kind of pull yourself out of it in order to be there for everybody else.
So would you say that the investment you made into yourself with Move, Think, Smile paid off?
Oh, 100 times. Yeah, for sure. Like I said, if I was going down this path, I would, like I said, I think I'd end up divorced, which is a whole lot of money, and huge health problems, which is a whole lot of money. So, and more prescriptions, which is a whole lot of money. And so I think the investment made has really curved a lot of that, and it has been 100% worth the investment for sure.
And then not to mention while you're doing all that, I mean, is life very much fun?
Right. I mean, that's the part you can't quantify though, is, the joy and the happiness and the family time that we're experiencing together again. And, all of that, you can't put a price on that. So, of course, all of that is so much better than it was last summer.
That's fantastic. And so guys, you know, if you're feeling kind of like that state of burnout, if you're kind of feeling low energy, if you're really looking to accelerate your life, energize your career and your home life, you don't have to choose. You don't have to sacrifice anymore. That's what so many of us think we've got to do. It's this catch 22. It's like, in order to have a successful career, I've got to sacrifice my own health. I've got to sacrifice my own family. Or if I want to have a good health, if I want to be healthy and I want to have a good family, I've got to sacrifice my career. And we're here to tell you, and I think Jessica agrees, like, you don't have to live that way.
Mm-mm.
You don't have to live that way. You can, the secret here is, one of another core concept we talk about is making your body your business, right? And, and I do want to let people know, and I think Jessica can attest to this, like, some people think we're like this fitness program. And, that's not what we are, and some people are like, are you just going to tell me what to eat? And it's like, that's not really what we are either. I mean, yes, we do talk about secondary foods because they are important, but we know that you cannot out supplement or out diet, by what you put on your mouth, because that's where most people put their focus on. They think that their energy comes from the stuff that they ingest. And while that's important, it's the areas of primary foods, right? Those primary fuels that have nothing to do with what you're eating, those 12 areas. And so I would, encourage anybody to come in and, who would like to learn more about this, to go over to movethinksmile.com/talk, book a call. Jessica did it. We had a conversation, and, so we were the first people that you talked to.
Yes.
All right. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, just the burnout burnout to badass really resonated with me. I was like, yes, I am burnout. And yes, I do want to be a badass. So how do I do that? Because at the time I had no idea how to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's referring to our book that's called Burnout to Badass. And we have as one of the many tools that we have is a learning curriculum. It's a learning platform, and it takes place, oddly enough, on this little virtual place that we call Badass Island, hidden in the South Pacific. And it might be a little bit goofy, but it's definitely not boring, is it?
No. I would say nothing in Move Think Smile is boring.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Jessica, thank you so much for sharing your story today. Is there anything else, any other parting shots you'd like to get out there to let people know or encourage them to do?
I don't think so. Just take care of yourself. so you can take care of others.
Awesome. And come on over to movethinksmile.com/talk. You'll speak with myself or my partner, Elia Fasheron. We're the two founders of Move Think Smile. We'll see what you're dealing with and see if it's something that might be fit for you. If it is, cool, we can talk about it. And if not, we can move on from that. And on that note, Jessica, what is your profession?
Ooh.
Aru. All right, Spartan. Badass Jessica signing out, and Adam Von Ens here coming at you today with this amazing interview. Thank you, Jessica, so much. It's been our honor to work with you. You've got a lot of tools going out there. And Jessica, what we haven't told anybody is that you feel so confident with the tools that you got that you're actually going to graduate.
Yay.
And this is her decision. This is really awesome. Like, she feels that confident. She feels that strong. And we're sad to see her go, but we're also super excited that, we did our job.
I'm ready.
Our job really is, our mission is to really give you those tools and get you to the place where you don't need us anymore.
Right.
It's not a very good business model, but it works really well. But it works really well. All right. We'll see you guys in the next episode.